Greetings, one and all. Today we have a very special guest with us. You read from the title.
He's an architect, an entrepreneur, and he's doing something very, very creative from his architecture route. So let's introduce.
Yes, here we have Sabhal.
Hi, how are you feeling?
Well spoken.
Let's not go there right now.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for coming
We're very
on.
happy to have you here.
Yes, I'm very excited to do this episode.
Okay, there's so much we want to know, and we're just so excited to know all about everything.
Excited to be part of this.
Before we get into like what you're doing right now, we thought we can start with your journey into architecture and design. How was that? Why did you decide to do and get into the field?
It was all quite random, actually. So architecture was not really inside my head. Like, I didn't know what architecture meant, to be honest. So I got introduced to what architecture is, or at least what like the word architecture in 11th grade. I spent a lot of time in my school counselor's room, and like trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do. And like, we had a really cool counselor. So we had a career day, and I'm just sitting there like going around trying to figure out like which college to get into, what do I do? Because I was really into photography and I really wanted to get into photography. But like I had to like drop that behind because a lot of factors played into that, and I could not pursue that as a career. So I was just sitting there lost thinking about all of this. And then like she just appeared out of nowhere. Like, oh, hi, what are you doing? What are you up to? Then like she guided me a lot about a lot of things. And then she did like this, she gave me a questionnaire for like to figure out what I would fit into, and human resources came on top. But along that, around that, there was like architecture as well, because design field and all of that. So like, oh, cool, architecture seems cool. It's just art and planning and all of that. Oh my God. Little did I know.
She lied.
I mean, she
didn't know. I'm joking.
Yeah, it's like she was just trying to help, dude. And there was also another dude who was there. He was like, yeah, dude, let's go for architecture. He ditched. He went into commerce and he's doing something completely different. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever, let's go into this. And there was also this thing, my family really wanted me to get into either medicine or engineering. And I was a little brat. This is like, I don't want to do that. Like, if I can't get to do photography, like, you know, this is like a lot of weirdness there.
Do you, like, I feel like you're one of the few people I know, at least from college, who, when we had to do an internship here, like the 5th year was internship for us, most of us tried to get a job in Dubai. Most of us tried to find like a well-known company or something that we can get into and like directly focus on architecture. But you were very adamant that you want to go back to India. Okay. And besides the point of like, you know, living alone and independence and stuff, like you chose to go to India. And I think you went to Bangalore directly and you didn't have anybody there. You just went and you got a bunch of, you went for a lot of interviews and then you managed to get an internship. Can you tell us a little bit more about that internship? Like that was, I think, the proper work environment that you had as an architect.
Okay.
So what did you do there? What kind of work did you do?
So initially when I went down to Bangalore, like I joined, I was looking around for a lot of opportunities there, like trying to find companies and stuff. But I still knew that by the end of college, or by 4th year, by that internship period, I knew that solely architecture is not what I wanted to do. I wanted something a bit more. And even though like I tried to nurture that architecture gene in me, it just was not giving me that complete satisfaction of what I wanted to do. And I found this company called Built Empathy. That's basically an NGO. They worked on developing open spaces. So open space in the sense like government schools, like playgrounds and stuff, slum development, stuff like that. So I was just in Bangalore. There was a lot of traveling actually in and around Bangalore. I got to go to Odisha. So we had 3 projects there that was going on. So it was a lot of fun. So I went and it was, I'll go into these government schools and we're just doing site review and all of that and play with the kids, eat from there, like food is dope. And just going to multiple schools and trying to learn like what we can do there, what we can develop there, what kind of learning play elements we can introduce over there. I really liked that. And I just did that for a good while, and then we had 3 projects in Odisha, so I went for that also. We completed the project. Then again, a lot of things happened, and I had to leave that company.
How long did you work there for?
I think 6 months. Okay. Yeah. So
a little before the pandemic hit.
Yeah, a little before the pandemic hit. But then again, like I was getting a lot of pressure to find something more architectural after that. So I again tried to find something, and I was just like very disappointed at leaving this place because I really liked doing that. And I was supposed to go on another site in Punjab, and I was like, oh, I'm going to explore all of India with this. But also at the same time, I felt very fulfilled at whatever I was doing, and it felt really nice. I'm like, oh, I could try to do this. But I had to leave that again. And then I was looking around for more internships. I'm like, damn, will I find something better? What is this? And then I ended up finding I Built It. Yeah. So I went there, and they were like, okay, we have 2 divisions. One is architectural. That'll be for your college. And the other is product design. You develop these products. Perfect. Let's do this. So when I went down there, like they didn't talk to me initially. So I had this whole Dubai professionalism thing in me, right? So I'm going for an interview. So I wore like full pants, shirt, tie and everything, full red tie. I got a nickname in my workplace. They call me Red Velvet now. But yeah, so I came with that, and they're all just looking at me like, who is this salesperson? Because everyone's in casuals, everyone's relaxed, and I'm like, okay. Like I came for the interview, I'm like, what do I do? It's like, yeah, so you will, so they give us a test basically. We have this aptitude test that we do. It's mostly to understand if you have the aptitude for the work that we do, the designing things that we do for our products, and to understand that if you have the patience to sit and figure this out. I'm a stubborn person. So they give me the test, and it seemed like a relatively simple test. Like I just had to make a box. That was the premise of it. And I was like, this is supposed to be easy. Why is it not? And I just wouldn't leave. I got there at around 9 or 10. And I didn't even go for lunch. I was just staying there till 4 till I figured that out. And I finally figured it out. They were like, aren't you leaving? They thought I was going to give up or whatever. Like, I was like, okay, finally finished it. I'm like, I'm done. Then they talked to me. Yeah. So and then they asked me like what I wanted, what's this for, how long internship and all of that. And then they told like, okay, so if you do a good job here, there was another guy also who joined with me. So he's like, if you guys do a good job and perform well, you will get an opportunity to have like a job here as well. I'm like, that's my goal. So just like started with that there.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the firm does and everything?
So basically, we make tabletop gaming terrain elements basically. So we work in 28mm scale medieval European buildings. So it's for games like Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, a lot of these tabletop games. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It's a bit like you basically have a table, and on top of the table, you create a city or an environment. And in that environment, you set up a game. And you have like multiple players, like 3 of us can play. 3 of us can play, and we'll have our own figures, and there'll be a dungeon master, and he'll roll the dice and generate the flow of the game. So to visualize that a lot better, we we provide these kits.
How did the market for this begin?
As in?
Like, how
much scope does it have? And
so
like,
it's a very hobbyist nurture thing. Like, it's a lot of our market is abroad because again, that Dungeons and Dragons, and there's not a lot of hobbyist people in India. Like it's very rare. It's coming up, but it's not very relevant there yet. Like even if I show the product to anyone in India, they're like, oh, it's a showpiece. That's how they see it. It can be, and it's a good puzzle for puzzle thing for kids and all, like
for all age groups, basically. Yeah,
it's a lot of fun, and we give very detailed instructions and stuff. So it's easy to build. That's our whole thing. It's easy to build, and you don't have to do any painting pre with it. That's one of the things that tabletop gamers don't like to do. Like they have to build the model and then they have to paint it. It's a lot of investment of time. What we provide is once you assemble this, it's already easy to assemble, and once you assemble it, it's ready to play. You just have to put it and it will blend with your setup. So that's what we do, and we've just been developing that, making it more realistic, making it more efficient, and having a lot of fun with it.
Do you think there's any so between the I built it part and the architecture part, do you find any similarities? Like, did any of your architecture skills or anything that you have?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
so
they've all played into this.
So when we are hiring also, sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's okay.
Yeah. So when we are hiring also, we try to look for architects only. Because since we are from an architecture background, we are already making buildings, but scaled down. So you have that understanding of masonry joints and all of that, wood joinery and all of that. And you have an idea of how to scale stuff down and understand scales. So I'm not saying that it's only exclusive to us, but we had better success with hiring people from an architecture background. So they understand things a lot better, and CAD software is very important because we all do all our work on CAD. And,
do you use like any 3D modeling softwares as well?
Yeah, we use SketchUp also. Yeah, so.
And these are all 3D printed or
no? That's
laser cut.
It's laser cut. It's made. Our products are made of an MDF wood. So their panels they come flat packed. And you just take them out and assemble to make a 3D structure.
And I wanted to ask you, like when you were talking about, for example, with Dungeons and Dragons, so do you guys face any copyright issues or do you guys work with them?
So it's not like we're doing something specifically for that game. It's for all tabletop games.
Okay.
So we're not following a game.
Okay, so it just makes sense for anything to be played.
Yeah.
Right, that's so cool. And congratulations on making partner there.
Yes.
You're like the
I
youngest.
worked really hard.
And you deserve it, 100%. I mean, you're like the youngest person, at least we know, that's...
To start off an internship.
Exactly. How is your journey into making partner like?
So, I work like crazy to a point where my boss is like, relax, dude. I think I put up a story also. They keep sending me messages like, Sabhal, we want you to take time off and have more personal time. In so many words. We're like, so like I said, I get very focused into whatever I'm doing. So when I got there also, it was during the pandemic, and I had to stay with my bosses because they were also worried, like, it was a bad time. So, but we wanted to work as well. And we had our first Kickstarter thing going on at that point in time. And I wanted to really dive into it as well. And I had just left Dubai. It's a good portion of my life again. And I am, again, another part of it is like, I'm the type of person who would drown into work rather than think about real life stuff. So
that's how you make partner.
Hacks for life.
Now I get to do a lot more big picture stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's very overwhelming. I'm still getting used to it. I'm still slowly diving into that. I'm just starting to enjoy the whole management side. It could range from me sitting there trying to figure out what to put up for social media to how do I send these many stuff to US for shipment. It
logistics, everything.
Yeah. I was genuinely like mind-boggling. Okay, am I this responsible?
Like you were intimidated initially, but now you've settled in.
Yeah, now I'm like, okay, this is my like,
yeah.
So I was like,
that's so good.
So as someone who is now into this part of it, like creativity and like purely like 3D structures, and I'm not making any sense. What is it? How do we...
So, right now maybe you're inspiring. I mean, we don't have a lot of people watching us, but when we do get famous, What if someone wants to do?
Before that, what do we say? Like, I can be like, see, with Shilata could say, like, now that you're doing urban planning or you're being an influencer, what do we say for your part of life? I don't have the word to bring it in. It's not like, how do we inspire people?
Someone who wants to follow your pathway,
Yeah.
what advice would you give them?
Follow.
I mean, whatever you're in right now.
This is a problem here. I mean, what would you say? Is this,
Okay, so someone,
it's
what are the, maybe like, there are certain things that you learned right now and like you're thinking, okay, maybe if I knew it before, I could have like found a shortcut maybe. So do you have any hacks or anything like that for someone who wants to take your pathway and maybe do it a little more differently, like with the knowledge that you can share?
Okay.
Like certain things to pick up maybe in college or to maybe not do architecture itself, to do some other course.
I would suggest getting into 3D modeling, like Blender and all of that. It's a free software. It's an amazing software. Get into 3D modeling because that immediately gives you a lot of scope for a lot of things. That one software gives you a lot of scope for a lot of things. You can sculpt, model, render, video renders, all of those things. And there's a lot of demand for those kind of skills online, and online is just blowing up right now. We're in the age of internet. So even if you're making like small sculptures, like miniatures and stuff, and just character designs and stuff like that, and you can put it up online and sell files. You're not even manufacturing anything. You're already immediately making money with that, and there is an interest for it. There are people who want those. They want like fun characters to play with on their D&D things. So you could really get into those kind of things. So Blender, 3D modeling software, like sculpting and all that, is things that I wish I had gotten into. I'm just learning it now. I'm doing we're getting into 3D printing also. So that's new for us. So we're just getting into that. So I would say like 3D stuff, like modeling and all of that.
And you guys also kind of maybe outsource, I guess, in a way. Like, do you look out for these files or something that's created by someone else and buy it from them? Is there a scope for maybe someone who's watching this to approach you for an opportunity?
As of right now, no, because we're trying to dive into 3D. 3D. Like, we haven't reached a point where we're like, okay, we want to sell this for this much. So we're still experimenting with 3D printing. Like I said, that's why I wish I had done that before, because so we're still making our models, and all the 3D printed accessories that we are making right now, we're giving it as freebies for our actual 2.5. So once we get to a point where we're confident, oh, these are mad.
Then you can outsource and all of that. That makes sense. And okay, so now you've gotten like really good with model making skills and all of that. And people in design do a lot of model making. What do you think you can give them maybe like methods and like how can you do it better? Like how can you make better models in college? Do you have any tips and tricks?
Laser cutting. Like if you can get your hands on a laser cutting machine, oh my god, the possibilities are endless. So that's what we do. And okay, so CAD, I could say that like for the work that I do, people come into the room and they see me like moving my fingers up for CAD. Are you a god? Because I got very used to it, and I'm just like drawing stuff, and once you have that in line and once you start modeling that on CAD, and you just need a laser cutting machine to cut those pieces, and all you have to do is put them together. And for us, it's about ease of use and friction fit and making the assembly process a lot faster. But you can also just forget all about that and use glue for refined edges and all of that to create your architectural models. And go insane with the engraving and detailing and all of that. There's a lot of scope there with
laser cutting.
Yeah.
So over here, like in colleges, you don't use laser cutting?
No, we all.
So it was always cutter blade. Okay.
That's what we always do.
And it must be very expensive also.
Laser
here,
cutting.
no?
Might be, yeah.
You guys laser cutting.
Yeah, in India, like because there was this entire street, so we'd all just go there and just give it to different.
And they would make your models for you.
No, they would just cut things. We'll go back and assemble, but it was so like dirt cheap. But here it must be. You should bring a laser cutting this thing over here.
I think it is here also, no?
Yeah, it's here, but very expensive. Like for my thesis model, I got my acrylic cut. Oh my God, the amount of money I had to spend on it.
Over there, initially when the company was starting off, we didn't have laser cutting machines, so we had like CAD centers and stuff who were cutting with this material. So we just gave them the material and they would cut for us, and we did prototypes. It was pretty chill there.
Now that you've made partner, what do you think like your next goal is?
Your personal goal, like masters, or you want to also set up an architectural firm with it?
Or do you want to take, I built it a different section and like to be your section?
Bring one to Dubai.
We are looking at a lot of things into expanding, but we're just exploring that at the moment, and we're just discussing what to do, where to go. So I can't really say a solid deal right now, but all of it right now, all of me is very much invested in I built it. I want to grow here.
So you're not interested in doing masters or anything like that?
I was thinking about it, wanted to do an MBA or something, but I was talking to my dad about it. It's like, you're already in business. This is the greatest experience you can get. The other thing is just going to be on your CV, and it's going to be great if you're switching. Are you switching? Nope. So
valid. At
the moment, nothing.
That makes sense.
But a lot of things going on in my head, but nothing that I want to dive into right now. Right now, my sole focus is I built it.
So sweet. I think that's about it.
That's about it. Thank you so much, Sabhal, for being part of this episode. It was really nice to know about your journey. All the best for everything. We are forever fans.
We're so happy for you.
Very happy for you. It's always amazing to see your LinkedIn updates constantly. Thank you so much. All the best for everything you do. We can't wait to have you.
See you on Forbes 30 under 30.
That'd be cool.
That's very cool. And we'd like to have you back again.
Yes.
After your next milestone. Maybe with, I don't know, the rest of the company maybe at that point. But thank you so much for coming. Bye. Bye, guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, you comment, you share, you subscribe. Make sure you check out his Instagram account.
You can actually check out our Kickstarter page also. A campaign is going on. It'll end on 27th. But you guys can still check out late pledges if you guys are seeing this later.
So we'll link it all down below. And
please go check out their Instagram and their all the things that they do. It's really, really cool. It's like, even if you're not someone into games, like it's just so fascinating to watch. And
so much you can learn and, understand.
It's an amazing Christmas gift too.
And it's just coming right up.
So thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.